Bienvenidos to Humans in Accounting, the podcast where we pause the AI buzz for a minute and focus on the real humans behind the numbers. We chat with founders and leaders to hear their journey, what drives them, and the important things in life. Because behind every balance sheet, there's a story worth telling. Humans in Accounting is brought to you by South Offices. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Humans in Accounting, where leaders share their story behind the spreadsheets. As you know, I'm your host, Alex Roman, and this podcast is brought to you by South Offices, connecting accounting talent across borders. Today's guest is Melissa Armstrong, founder at Steady Hand Accounting and Advisory, and also the host of No Se Habla Taxes. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Melissa, welcome to Humans in Accounting. I'm really happy just to have you here.
Alex, I'm so excited to be here. I love that you're doing this podcast and focusing on the human side of accountants. We are humans, not robots. So this is great. Thank you for hosting me.
Thank you for joining. Actually, the truth is that we never met. Actually, we talked for the first time. When was it? A few
Last
weeks
week.
ago.
Yeah.
You're right. That was last week. I saw the entire episode that you did with David Lam, the CEO of Abacor. Huge shout out to David.
Yes.
And yeah, I saw that episode. And then I guess I followed you. Maybe I've sent you a LinkedIn invite. Not entirely sure. Then I saw that you were doing this podcast, and I reached out and said, "Hey, Melissa, I wanna talk with you. It would be ideal if you could be a guest here in Humans in Accounting." And here we are. So again, thank you so much for being part of it. Right?
So happy to be here.
Perfect. So tell me. Let's start. I have like so many things that I want to ask you, but let's go from the beginning. Tell me a little bit about your background, how you started. I understand that you started your firm 1 year, 2 years ago.
Last year, just 1 year ago.
Last year.
Yes. Yeah. Very long story short, I am a third generation accountant.
Okay.
My paternal grandfather and my father, both accountants. And I always said that I wasn't going to be an accountant because I thought it was a very stressful career. But then I took a class in college and I fell in love with debits and credits and the order that it brings. And so here I am. It's been 22 years since I got my CPA designation. And during that time, I've done public accounting, personal financial planning, business planning, also corporate accounting. And after my last experience as a corporate controller for a company here in Denver, I took a second to think about what I wanted to do. And I realized that helping clients is what really fuels me. Just helping them understand this thing that to them seems like a foreign language, and to me comes so naturally. So that's where my little practice started a year ago, and here I am. So very happy to be doing what I love.
That's great. And this was actually last year. So yeah, one year with your firm, which is great. Actually, I'm just realizing that this is probably the first time that we're having a conversation in English, because we haven't said this to the audience and to the listeners, but that first conversation was in Spanish.
That's right.
That's why I'm pretty sure that I pronounced correctly, right? Is it no se habla? That's the way you're pronouncing it?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about No Se Habla Taxes. I mean, here I am in Humans in Accounting. This was an idea that I had like a year ago, and I started with Michael Lee. Now we made a lot of episodes. Tell me how you started your own podcast. I love the name. I've seen so many clips. Love the advice that you're giving. Tell me everything. I want to know the idea, how you started, and where are you going with No Se Habla?
Yeah, I don't know if this is how it was for you in the beginning, but I never thought that I was going to be starting my own podcast because I was, it's just like, this is not what I am setting out to do. I'm here to do account,
Right.
But I started doing my marketing, working with an excellent marketing coach, Sarah Noel Block. You should meet her at some point. She's great. And she started teaching me about lead generation and being active on socials and how people want to see you and hear you because then they feel like they are your bestie and it makes them want to work with you. So I tried a couple of live events, but I quickly realized that that wasn't the thing for me. And
Mm-hmm.
throughout this whole time in building my community online, I have a lot of solopreneurs in my network that support me, my journey, love me. We have become friends and they want my help because
Mm-hmm.
they are attorneys, marketers, all sorts of walks of life and business expertise, but numbers is not their thing. But unfortunately, they can't afford to work with me at my rates so early on in their journey. And so I started thinking, how can I help them in a way that I can make this feasible for both so that I am supporting them, but at the same time, this is a business, right? It has to make financial sense for me. So
Right.
I thought, what if I launched a coaching program very similar to the one that I am in for marketing? I could do this for accounting and have these very early stage solopreneurs between 1 and 3 years of business that are doing their books on their own. I can coach them so that they're not making a huge mess. And then when they're ready to graduate to outsource, hopefully they come to me or they go to somebody else, but they're not going to have to spend a ton of money fixing years of mistakes. So that was the original idea. And I thought, okay, so how can I market this? And I thought of this podcast and it hit a couple of things that I needed. I need to put video out there, content that is educational and can show people what this coaching program is going to be like. And then, in this journey, when I first came out into the world of like as a solopreneur, as a solo practice owner, I would get day in and day out referrals or direct inquiries asking me to do their taxes.
Right.
And I'm like, that's not what I do. So it started with me putting on my LinkedIn profile, nope, I don't do taxes. It became a joke with my friends and solopreneurs. And so that's how I landed on No Se Habla Taxes. Yeah, it just
Very
it
good.
all came together perfectly somehow.
And when was this? I mean, when was the first episode? And how was this? I don't know, learning curve because this. I mean, we could do an entire other
Yes,
episode about like starting your own podcast. I
podcast.
have a lot of things to do
Yeah.
to say. But tell me, how was your experience with that? Like from the first video that you posted until now?
Yeah. So the first video, the first episode came out live on July 9th of this year. I think the
Okay.
trailer came out at the end of May. So going back to Sarah Noel, my marketing coach,
Hmm.
she was running a sprint on how to launch your podcast. And the way she broke it down is what really made it seem like something that I could do. So first of all, she said, you don't have to interview people if you don't want to. You can have solo episodes. Can Nobody says that your episodes need to be 1 hour long or 30 minutes long. Like you can make them very short and bite-sized.
Right.
And she said you can also do every other weeks. And she actually recommends that you start with that cadence while you figure out, how much time you have and how much you can commit to doing this. And all of these things made it approachable to me. And then the other thing that she said, you need to have a street team of other people that will help you like launch it. And so I reached out to all of my solopreneur friends. Of
Right.
course, like I offered some sort of exchange. So I am going to be placing an ad about their services and them on my newsletter. The first one came out last week. And then a month from now, you'll start hearing me do little like ads within my episodes of all of them. And these were the people that helped me like go out there, listen to the episode, leave a review, and just hype up the community.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, something, and probably no, sorry, I want to ask a follow up question on this. Like from the very first episode that you launched until now, well, now a few months later, have you noticed something that you started doing it like in a specific way, and then you realize, hey, maybe it's better if I just change this, or if I do this other way? Have you learned something that, I don't know? I'm asking you that question, but I'm really asking me that question, but I
Yeah.
want to know your thoughts on that.
Okay. I created a custom GPT. So
Okay.
for me, because my episodes are going to be bite sized and the purpose is to coach and teach something, I
Uh-huh.
needed to ground myself on the episodes. And so I needed to have like a confession. The perspective or point of view from my podcast is things that I experienced doing my own books so
Mm-hmm.
that I can then teach my own, like, talk about my own fumbles and then teach the lessons learned to my audience. So it starts with a confession, and then there's like a lesson teaching moment, and finally a call to action. And so that has made a huge difference for me because I can go in and say, okay, little GPT, mine is called Solana. Okay, Solana, I want to talk about this in the episode. This is what I was doing. This is the problem that I ran into, and this should be the lesson. And Solana will put together the script for me. She knows how long my episodes need to be and all of that. And so having that script and that tool, it just helps me like not deviate and just produce the content faster. It's people like to shame content creators about using ChatGPT. For me, I am telling the bot like what I am talking about. I am giving it the idea. It's just helping me keep the format like tight so that I am, I stay true to what I am saying. This is going to be no longer than 8 minutes. And so, yeah, it's worked well.
It's incredible. We haven't talked about this, but I actually did the same. I also have a custom GPT agent. Mine, it's called Bob. I'm pretty sure. I have a few, but I think that this one is called Bob. I created this a few months ago, and I told him, I'm not entirely sure how to talk about it. Like, is it him or is it it? Is it him, right? Anyways,
Yep.
so I told Bob, hey, I want us to get better at doing podcasts. So look, tell me, I want you to be like, tell me the things to my face, because sometimes now I think it changed a little, but a few months ago, this is moving so fast. But I feel that maybe 6 months ago, ChatGPT was, I asked him a question about something, and or ask for an opinion of something that I was doing. And ChatGPT was like, "Oh no, Alex, you're so good. You're doing like all the best things, the best decisions ever." And I went like, "No, not really. So I'm pretty sure that I'm doing the stuff that it's that could be better." So I asked specifically for Bob just to be direct and to be mean to me. That's something that I put like in the prompt. And yeah, so that it gave me like a huge like good advice from script, but also from, for instance, from of the lightning. The light was telling me, hey, the light, you should move it like 30 degrees to the right
What?
because you have a big nose. I swear God.
No.
I swear
Oh my
God.
God. Okay.
So this was incredible, and this is me telling like to any listener, I should definitely recommend just create your own GPTs for whatever you're doing. If it's not a podcast, if it's something else, I can then share the prompt that I gave, and again,
Please.
he told me specifically this, like 30 degrees to the right, you have a big nose, and your nose is creating shade. Like that, I swear to God.
My GPT will give me sass in Spanish.
Sass in Spanish.
Yeah, so she'll like write the whole thing in English and then she'll drop in a very sassy line in Spanish. And I'm like, are you learning from me?
Incredible, incredible. This is moving so fast. And well, this is actually why the name of this podcast, the Humans in Accounting. Now, like all this AI buzz, and we are talking like 24/7 about AI and how this is impacting directly in our lives. So my idea was just, hey, let's talk about the human part. And this is why last week when we talked in Spanish, I asked you if you had like what were your passions. And when I asked you that question in Spanish, you answered me something that I wanted just to talk a little bit. You told me that you are really passionate about cats.
I
Is that
am.
right?
I am. Yes, I
Tell
have been a cat mom for 27 years. Obviously,
20.
obviously I've had multiple cats along the way, but yes, for
I can
27 years.
imagine.
And I will always have a cat or two in my life.
How many cats do you have right now? And I want to know, is it one, two?
I have two. I have a boy and a girl. In
Okay.
2019, my 20-year-old cat passed away. She had chronic
Okay.
kidney disease, and I was heartbroken, heartbroken. And so, after crying every single day for 2 months straight, somebody told me, Melissa, you should go and adopt a new cat. That is going to help you heal. And so I listened, but then I decided that I wanted to change it up and bring two kittens home because I didn't want it to feel exactly the same for me. And also because
Hmm.
kittens thrive in pairs. So
Right.
here in Colorado, I'm excited that I get to give them a shout out. There is this free roam shelter called Rocky Mountain Feline Rescue, and they take cats not just from Colorado, but other states that have an overflow of pets. Colorado in general does a lot of intake from these other states so that these pets can have a chance at getting adopted, and won't be put down. And this particular shelter, the cats, they have them grouped in sections based on like personality or needs. They had this room called the library where it was for shy cats and kittens. And I said, this is me. I don't need like rambunctious cats that are bouncing off the walls. I'm going to go
Right.
into this room. And my girl cat, Jamie, she's gray, she's long hair. She found me, immediately attached herself to me, would not let other kittens come near me. I would go and try to say hello to another cat, and she would like follow me along and insist on like me petting her. So I was like, all right, clearly you are choosing me. That means you have to come home with me. Now I need to go find you a friend. And I didn't know, like, I wasn't connecting with any other cat. And then I sat down and there was this little cat bed or cat house. Bed in itself was covered in black fabric inside. And there was
Okay.
this calico cat. She was asleep. And I pulled her out. Oh, you're so cute. But then when I pulled her out, I see that there's like a little black bundle that was next to her that started to stir. So I also pulled out the black bundle. And immediately when he's on my lap, he kind of like pushes her away. He curled up and he looks up at me with the biggest green eyes and gives me a meow that I swear in that moment he was like asking me, are you my mom? And I said, yes, I am your mother. And the rest is history. His name is Jasper, and Jasper was born in Houston, and Jamie was born here in Greeley, Colorado.
Whoa. And now I understand that Jasper and Jamie, they're playing with that. What was the name you told me that? Cat tree? Is that
The
how you
cat
say it?
tree. Yes, they have three in the house. This is the one that they use the least because I'm here during the day, and during the day, they're chasing the sun around the house. And they
Okay.
want peace and quiet. They come here if I'm working late after their dinner, then they'll come and hang out here with me.
Well, that's great. Just to picture this place, is this like a place where you were just walking and cats were like different areas walking around and you can just look at them? That's the way it is this place, right?
Yes, they have changed some things around, but back then, so they still have a big fenced patio,
Mm-hmm.
and the most active cats will go out and like spend time outside in this patio, just like lay around, and they have picnic tables and you can come out and sit there. There's toys around and you can play that with them. And then in this tiny room, they have the cats that are either struggling, they're overwhelmed with all
Mm-hmm.
the other cats in the shelter, or they're just mellow. So this is where these other cats are, and they're all compatible because they're all like trying to stay sane. And then they have other areas, so they'll have FIV positive cats that need to be separated from the rest of them, so they will all be in one room, or they have a quarantine area for when cats first come in. They have to be in that area for a period of time while they go through testing and all of that. So yeah, I really love what they're doing. And you can tell that everybody there is really passionate about these babies and making sure they have a good home.
That's great. What was the name again so that we can repeat the name of the shelter?
Yes, it is the Rocky Mountain Feline Rescue.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Huge shout out to
Yes.
them as well. Perfect. I'll tell you. Talking with Bob, actually, I have learned this new word and in English that I didn't know last week. Purring, is it right?
Yes.
When cats go like, well,
Yes.
I've I've heard, I'm not entirely sure if there's like a scientific study, but I've read articles and I heard that people said that, and I remember having my cat when they are purring, it helps like yeah with the stress. I'm sure that since you have had cats for all these years, how does have you ever found yourself like sleeping next to a cat purring, and how's your feeling? Does it help stress? Is this true? Is this a myth? Tell me about it.
It's absolutely true. So it has to do with the frequency of the vibration in their
Hmm.
throat, right? And the sound that they make. It's a similar vibration that they use in like for music therapy or healing and whatnot. And so there's this whole thing. I'm not a scientist, but that's the reasoning behind that. But yes, cats use this purring. When I say that cats or kittens thrive in pairs, when they come into a new environment, my two kittens, they were 5 months old, 5 and 7 months old.
Okay.
They were like, like bundled together in a little corner in my bathroom. They were supporting each other. I have moved once since I adopted them. They came twice actually, and both times like you could see them both find a corner where they were like huddled together. Um and the purring is intense, and so they can purr when they are very happy, they can purr when they are stressed, they can purr when they are sick or feeling pain. So they use it for self-soothing, they use it for soothing other cats, and they use for soothing people. And so I've had moments where I've been crying or have been sad, and the cats will find their way to me and like basically become a cat blanket and start purring. And I do notice like my anxiety going down. Yeah.
No, I remember exactly the same, and yes, I can also agree, and I'm sure that's the case. But again, I have not read a specific paper that is scientific. But yeah. Thank you for that. As I told you, I asked you when we talked last week, what were your passions? You mentioned this about cats. This is why I wanted just to ask you this questions. In my case, I am a foodie guy. There's nothing that I can do. I enjoy eating nice food. And I need to ask you, I'm asking all my guests here in Humans in Accounting, this very same question that I'm going to ask you. Melissa, what's your favorite food?
Okay, so I'm a foodie like you, and there's tons of
Okay.
things that I like, but I have to talk about Puerto Rican food, of course. And my favorite dish to make is arroz con gandules. In English, they would call those rice with pigeon peas. Although I just learned there is a community of Puerto Ricans in Hawaii, and I guess they
Okay.
call it ganduli rice. So there you go. Arroz con gandules. I love making it. I could make this rice or this dish with my eyes closed if I had to. It's so Puerto Rican, right? We do eat rice and beans, but I feel like other cultures also have a variation of that. Rice, arroz con gandules is just very Puerto Rican. I pour all of my love into it. They remind me of family time and Christmas time, the holidays. We also eat it on Thanksgiving. It's also, I think, the favorite dish that I make here for my brother who also lives in Colorado, and his son, my nephew, who was born here. He loves Puerto Rican food, and his eyes just light up whenever I make it. So yeah, that's my choice.
Well, thank you. Thank you for answering me that question. I'm not entirely sure if I've ever tried that. I'm looking now at a few pictures here with the help of Google. It feels like, does it have sometimes chicken, for instance?
No, it can have
No.
pork or ham.
Okay. Pork or ham. All right. All right.
Yes.
Arroz con gandules. Gandules, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's like the Argentinian way just to to say arroz con
Yes.
gandules.
Love it.
Perfect. Great. Thank you for answering me that question. That was an important one. And well, just to wrap up, because we could continue this podcast episode probably for a few more hours.
Yes.
But let me ask you a question that I probably it's the yeah my favorite question, probably also next to this one of the food. I'm asking each guest, like, what's a good advice that you could give maybe someone watching in the future in YouTube or Spotify or Apple or all the platforms where we are in the Humans in Accounting. What's a good advice that you can give them? I don't know, someone who's starting their own business. It could be an accounting business, but maybe it's another business. What's a good advice that you can give them, or what's a good advice that maybe someone could have given you when you started with all this? I'm curious. I want to know.
Can I tell you? Can I share both?
You can share both for sure.
Okay. So the first one, the best advice somebody gave me that led me to starting my business is take the time to think about what you really, really want, what you truly want. Sometimes we're forced because of moments of crisis in our life. I lost my
Right.
job, and this is what led to me starting my own business. So it can be something like that. Or, it could be a move. There could be so many reasons, or maybe you have the luxury to plan it, but think about what you really want before you make the next step or make a big decision. And once you identify what you really want, my advice is go for it. I hear a lot of times that people are proud of what I am doing or that they admire everything that I am building. I am not an extraordinary human being. I am just a regular 45-year-old CPA who decided to start her own business. But the difference is that I went for it. You can't just go into it like halfway, 50% of the way, 20% of the way. Like, you really have to go for it. Just go. It's do or die. Pour yourself into it. And if you have that combination of like knowing what you want and then the commitment to go after it, the sky's the limit.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias for that advice. That's some powerful advice, and I agree. And yeah, I hope that everyone watching this in the future, or maybe like in 20 years from now, someone finds this episode for some reason in the next YouTube that it's going to be invented, take that advice.
Yes.
That's really good. Melissa, I'm really happy that we made this episode together. Thank you so much for participating. People watching, probably they heard about this course that you will be giving, or they want to reach out, or they want to know more about No Se Habla taxes. What's the best way just to get in contact with you?
Yes, I will share the link. I don't have them memorized right now, but I will send them to you so that you can share them in the podcast notes. But if they just want to reach out to me, they can email me at info@steadyhandaccounting.com. And then I can also share the links with them. The beta is going to be launching in October. It was going to be September, but I've had to push it for 1 month. It's going to be in October, and I'm only going to have 6 spots for this beta round. So I'll be sharing more details very, very soon. But in the meantime, they can send me an email, info@steadyhandaccounting.com, and I will share the links so they can subscribe to the web.
Perfect. And I'll make sure that whenever we publish this episode, I'll leave your contact in the description so that they can reach out. Once again, Melissa, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really happy that we made this episode. And well, to all the viewers, listeners in the future, thank you for joining. I'll see you on the next episode of Humans in Accounting.
Thank you, Alex. Bye.
Bye-bye.